Good day, top fans. This is Jamie Wagner, also known as at TFR Dodger fan, commentary writer for the Top Fan Rivalry website. I am here with Big Brother Jake. Big Brother Jake, how are you today?
I'm good. How you doing, Jamie?
I'm great. Thank you for asking. So before we get started, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, my name is Big Brother Jake, aka Jake Warner. My government name, Jake Warner. I host a podcast called the Big Brother Jake Podcast. Because I'm original like that. But I'm a Navy vet. I'm a single dad, and I'm a huge Dodger fan. I've worked in the radio industry for the last 21 years, but most of it's been in sports radio and working with several teams, including the Dodgers, the LA Clippers, and LA Kings. So yes.
Very nice. Very nice. So you're kind of a celebrity. You have your own podcast. I'm totally geeking out right now because I actually do listen to your podcast, which is
Thank you for that. You're the one. No,
awesome.
I appreciate that though. Thank you so much for the kind words. I really appreciate it.
No problem. So let's get to this. Why are you a Dodgers fan? I mean, really?
I had no choice in the matter. When I was born on tax day 1976, I'm 45. I'm good at math. My grandfather, as soon as I came out the womb, had a Dodger hat ready for me to put on. And he told my mom, he said, you have no say in the matter. He is going to be a Dodger fan. I'm anointing him a Dodger fan. So as soon as I came out, Dodger hat on my head, born and raised in Southern California. I'm a San Bernardino native. But I have always loved the Dodgers since day one. I grew up a Dodger fan. My dad was a transplant from Washington, D.C. To age him, God rest his soul, he was a Senators fan, but converted to a L.A. Dodger fan because he married into the family and he had no choice also. So that's how I became a Dodger fan.
Well, don't hold it against me because I am actually a converted Dodgers fan from a lifelong San Francisco Giants fan.
Oh man, you're making enemies in your own family there.
I am. I just like you was born and had a little Giants cap on, and watched them all of my life until about 2 years ago. And everyone's like associating it when I met my husband, but I'm like, no. Chavez Ravine actually did it for me.
Really?
Went to that ballpark and absolutely fell in love with the atmosphere and how it felt like a real ballpark. Yes. And interacting with the fans, and it was totally different than interacting with San Francisco ball game goers, because they're not fans that go there. They're basically corporate people who get free tickets, and it totally sucks. So it really is. And you get these people that are on their cell phones most of the game, and they're talking through like really important plays. And I'm going, just stop, okay? You're ruining my experience. But yeah. So I'm
welcome to the dark side.
Oh, you know what? I call it the blue side, because I'm navy blue, because I'm also
right. Navy as well. Go Navy.
Go Navy. And I like it. It's like it just kind of goes with my blue truck, my blue soul. So it's nice being blue.
Absolutely. That Pantone 294 looks good on us,
Exactly. So I am just wondering, since you are a huge Dodgers fan, you have been, who's your favorite player? Past, current, whatever.
My all-time favorite Dodger is Fernando Valenzuela. And the reason why I liked him, my step-grandfather that anointed me a Dodger fan, he's of Mexican heritage. I look Latino, but I'm black. But my grandfather was a huge fan of him. And when Fernando Mania came through in 1980, I was 4, but I remember all of it. And my grandpa said, this guy, he has something that nobody else does. And at a young age, I would love just his wind up, how he'd look up, left-hander, just took over the Dodger world, the baseball world. And it fascinated me to no end. And he became my favorite player off the top. And I loved watching him pitch. I loved how he handled things. He was so humble. And as time went on, and I grew up. I ended up being able to work for the Dodgers and got to hang out with him and travel with him and be with him every single day. Got pictures with him and everything. Just a great guy. So to be able to, work with your hero and fall in love watching him play baseball, it's like the whole world went full circle for me. But Fernando did it for me. And to this day, I've never seen another pitcher that has commanded a game, taken over a game like he has. Just my all-time favorite player.
That is amazing. So working with the Dodgers, you got to meet a lot of different people. I saw a picture of you with Vin.
Oh, yeah.
So I would be remiss to ask, because my husband's just like a huge Vin fan. Is he as awesome and as wonderful as he appears to be?
He's actually more awesome in person, and being around him when the lights aren't on and the cameras aren't on, he's actually very humble, but he's very personable. He hates when you call him Mr. Scully. He likes to be called Vin. But he was one of the most amazing people I ever had a chance to work with. And I got to work all the home games with him, and he didn't travel past Denver when I was working there. I was there 2003, 2004. But I was able to work with him on the radio only calls, and he did the simulcast, but I had the opportunity to be around him every single day. And I love the man. He's one of my favorite people. I'm a fan first, but being able to work with him every day was like a dream come true. When he'd say your name on the air, you're like, oh my God, he said Jake Warner. Like, what? Like, it was the coolest thing ever to hear him say that. And he would always show love. He would always be kind, come up to you, shake your hand. He'd talk to my family and make them feel welcome. He's just a treasure. I love that man to death. Like, I love him to death.
So it must have been very sad for you when he retired.
Oh yeah. Like I hated to see him go because, he's part of the fabric of, the Dodgers. When he's so synonymous with the team. So no disrespect to Joe Davis or anybody else, but it's Vin. You grow like all of us, youngsters, we'd have the radio in the bed and listen to the games at night. We are a big fan. Like, we grew up with Vin. He's like part of the family. So when he left, and it's like 67 years, it's like, I get it. And it was sad to see him go. It was like, man, it's the end of an era. It was really sad, but I was happy for him too, because I know he was ready.
Well, so who is your favorite player to watch right now?
Right now, I would say I love watching Mookie Betts. I'm so glad he's a Dodger now. Like, I watch him with the Red Sox. I'm like, man, I wish he was a Dodger. And then, oh, damn, he's a Dodger now. Him. And I've always been a fan of, Kershaw. He's one of my favorites too. I feel bad because of his career, and his injuries have kind of like cut things short. But JT, Justin Turner, he's also one of my favorites. Like, that guy, he's a local kid. So that makes it special. It's his favorite team. He's playing for his favorite team that he grew up loving and watching. And just to watch him day in, day out play baseball, and the love he has for the game and for the fans and for the city of LA, I love watching him. He's like probably my favorite Dodger right now, currently. So yeah, big fan.
Yeah, I've heard the JT thing, because, being a prior Giants fan, I loathed JT and I loathed Kershaw because they were always so good against my former team. Yes. However, last World Series in 2020, when they pulled JT out of the game at seventh inning, it totally changed my mind about JT. It really did. I was a converted JT fan. However, my favorite player is Max Muncie.
Max is awesome. I love watching that guy play baseball. He's one of the best players that in the game right now. He doesn't. Oh, yeah. I think he doesn't get enough credit.
Oh no, he doesn't. And I think it was a shame just how the A's treated him, and he was just kind of like this. I felt like he was an underutilized utility player, and honestly, when he came to the Dodgers, I saw a spark in him that I knew was there while he was playing for the A's. Like
Yeah.
seriously, just
Oh yeah.
blossomed.
Oh yeah. One of my favorite players to watch, man.
Oh,
But
yeah. And he's a family man, and you gotta love that. You have to respect that he really embraces that family atmosphere, which is one of the reasons why I truly appreciate the Dodgers is that they are a family team. They put
yeah.
family first, and I can see it when Kenley Jansen was in the
Yeah.
slump.
Mhm.
Once his baby was born, oh, he came back with the fire of gods,
Yes.
in closing. I was just so surprised when I saw that. I'm just see, this is what it is. If there's something going on in the family, you got to see what your players are doing and see why. And I think Roberts did a great job, kind of balancing that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing about this squad that's so special about them. They pick each other up when the other's down. It's very family oriented. Their mentality is, a family. You don't mess with the family, and they pick each other up. That's what I love watching about that team. Everybody is like they love one another. They it's not fake. It's very genuine, and that's what makes the team special. Because I've been around many teams, many different sports for over 20 plus years in this business. And there's some teams that's just not there. The chemistry's not there. It's not organic. It's forced. It's fake. But when I look at this squad, especially the World Series team, and you have all these players, when they were slumping or whatever, they picked each other up. When JT went out because he tested, all the players were like, "We don't care. He's already here. Bring him back out. He deserves. He's a big part of this championship. He needs to be out here with us." And when I saw that, that gives me goosebumps thinking about it. Like they put themselves at risk because they saw that this guy that was the heart and continues to be the heart and soul of this Dodger squad, they were not going to allow him to be denied. So they went and said, "No, we don't care that he has it. Bring him out and his wife, and we're going to celebrate with him. We can't do this without him." And that speaks volumes when it comes to team chemistry and family orientation of this squad.
Almost definitely. That still, yes, gives me goosebumps. When I saw him come back on the field, I was just like, oh, yes. And it made me fall in love with the Dodgers even more, just seeing that. Because I don't know if any other team would have done that.
No, I don't think so either.
I know that the Braves are very family oriented as well, but would they have sacrificed themselves in that kind of manner to bring a team member who has been tested positive with this virus, back onto the field? Would that have happened?
Yeah, so, I don't think it would have happened with any other team, and that's what makes this team so special. They love each other.
Exactly. So, what is your favorite memory of being a Dodgers fan? So I want a past memory and I want a current memory.
Okay. My favorite memory is growing up, we didn't have a lot of money. So my friends, myself, we scraped together enough money to sit out in the pavilion. And we always wanted to go to the games where the Giants were playing. And we'd sit behind Barry Bonds and boo him the whole game. Barry, just give him hell the whole game, and he'd put his hand behind his back and flip us off, and stuff like that. But it was fun. Those were my memories because when all times were hard, we didn't have a lot of money growing up. When we could go out to Dodger Stadium, scrape up enough money for a Dodger dog and a Coke and sit out in the pavilion, it was my favorite thing to do. My current memory, it would have to be this past World Series. I was with a very close friend of mine and their family, and she grew up a Dodger fan as well as I did. Her husband's a Mariners fan, but he's converting slowly to Dodger. He wears Dodger gear all the time. She was, I think, 7 when they won the World Series. I was 12. And when that final out happened, we were just like cheering, jumping up and down. And the whole city of LA just seems so unified, getting over the death of like Kobe Bryant. The city embraced Kobe. He embraced the Dodgers. So to be able to see the Lakers and the Dodgers bring home a championship to the city of LA, It was a beautiful thing. You could walk around. Even now, even though the Braves won this year, everyone still has their championship gear. Like my hat's the gold LA on it. It unified the city, winning that championship. And people call it a Mickey Mouse ring. They call it, a COVID ring, whatever you want to call it. It's still a World Series ring. It's a championship. And that's one of my favorite memories. And I was bummed because my father and my grandfather aren't here to see it, but I know we'd be partying and celebrating. And I can't even tell you how much money I spent on championship gear. But but yeah, it's a great thing. The championship unified the city of LA. And that's my most fond memory of recent times with this team.
That I have to agree with you that championship just kind of solidified LA. I was two sports franchises just killing it in the off season or postseason. So it was just like amazing.
Yeah.
And I think it was kind of like, okay, Kobe, we got this. This is for you. And it really upsets me when I hear, oh yeah, well, anyone could have won in a short season. It's like, no, actually, not everyone could have won, because if anyone could have won, the postseason would have been harder to get through, and the Dodgers wouldn't have won if anyone could have won. So,
and any of these fans that say they wouldn't have took that World Series ring in a shortened season, they're lying. Because for example, and I'm gonna take a shot at them. I don't care. Padre fans talk the most trash, but when they had their wild card win, the whole Gaslamp Quarter was filled to capacity with people driving around, honking their horns, having a little parade over a wild card win. But when the Dodgers win a ring, it's a Mickey Mouse ring. But I guarantee you, if they won that World Series in the shortened season, they would not be saying those things. And I can't stand when fans do that. I can't.
I can't either. And I hear it all the time. And it's just like, okay, I know you're trying to get a rise, but right. At least we didn't cheat,
Don't get me. I mean, I have my shirt on now because I can't stand Houston. So
the
I have
asterisk,
my asterisk shirt underneath my Dodger jersey. I can't stand that team. Anybody that played for them. And I mean, I love Dusty Baker because he's a Dodger, a true Dodger. But no, I have no tolerance for that.
And honestly, I was so happy when the Braves went against them.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
So happy.
For the Braves. And I got friends from Atlanta that I served with in the Navy, very close friends. So I was happy for them. But yeah, I don't want Houston to ever succeed in anything.
No. So I heard that I think it's Carrera they're hinting that might become a Dodger. Have you heard that?
I haven't, but that would be hard to accept. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, really?
Yeah. Isn't he the one that went?
Yeah, he's the one that, yeah. And that's I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, I would welcome him in because he's a Dodger. The only other Dodger that was recent that I wasn't fond of, Machado. I don't like his work ethic, so I was glad when he left and went to San Diego. Yeah. But for Correa to come, I don't know, man. That's gonna be hard to accept.
So, would you rather have Kiki come back or Jock come back?
Ooh, that's a good one. If I had to make a choice, it'd probably be Kike because he was the heart and soul. He was one of a good clubhouse guy, and he gave his heart and soul. I'm mad because he didn't get enough opportunity. There was no room for him on the squad. But I mean, Jock is amazing. I love watching him play, but I love the passion that Kike had. He's very fun to be around. Mm-hmm. The guys love Jock too, but if I had a choice, it'd definitely be Kike, 100%.
Interesting. I see that too. I see the Kike coming back more than Jock. So it's interesting to hear it from a long time fan versus somebody who is just now coming into it. I totally don't want to be like, oh, I'm such a diehard Dodgers fan, because I'm new to this, and right. As much as I want to bleed blue, I'm not there yet because. I think I need to be a fan more than a minute. And I honestly, I think I want to be honest about this. I don't want to, like rain on anyone's parade or take over because, I was a Giants fan for over 40 years. So it's just, I want to give credit where credit's due. So that's why I'm talking to Dodger fans.
It's all good, and you're one of us now. So we don't hold your past against you. We
Oh, thank
welcome you into this family of ours.
So your bucket list, let's see. I take it you went to the World Series when the Dodgers won.
When I went to the World Series in 2017, I was at game one. Okay. But because we were in the bubble, like I couldn't make it to Texas, but I would have loved to have been there. I would have paid any amount. But being at game one against the Astros, and they beat the Astros in game one, that was awesome. My mom surprised me with that ticket. I had no idea. I was cleaning out my garage, and she called me and she said, I know, son, how much this means to you. I know how happy you are. I was like, yeah, Mom, I can't wait to watch it on TV. She's like, you're not going to watch the game on TV. I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, you're going to be there. I'm like, no, I'm not working. Because, everybody assumes, oh, you're in media, you're going to be there. Like, no, I can't get a credential. She's like, no, I bought you a ticket. Congratulations. And I was like, oh my God, I was freaked out. I was crying. And I was like, man, this is so cool. And that was amazing. I never thought I'd be able to attend a World Series game, and I did in 2017. Too bad they didn't win the series, but to be there at game one, the opening ceremonies, the flyover, the electricity in the stands, and they just whooped that ass. I was really happy about that. So that was a cool experience.
So while you were in the Navy, how much did baseball influence you? I mean,
oh man, it's funny because I was a Padres season ticket holder for one season because I lived in San Diego. Yeah. But baseball was always a big part of my life, even in the Navy, because when I could, of course, when the Dodgers came to town, we just locked it in. All the Dodger fans, like they travel very well across the country. So it was like a piece of home was down in San Diego with me. But even so, like on the weekends when I didn't have to work, I would drive up to LA and watch games on the weekends. So baseball has always been a big part of my life. I own probably over 35 Dodger hats, different colors, different shades, different designs.
Of course,
yeah. So I'm like a huge fan. And it's always been a big part of my life. I've always scheduled a lot of my life events around baseball so I can see as many games as possible and attend as many games as possible. So even in the Navy, like I would always, back then the internet, we didn't have a lot of access to it on USS Kitty Hawk. So I would like send emails to my dad to get updates on Dodger scores. You're in Singapore, you can't like find ESPN back then. Now you probably can, but back then in the late 90s, it was hard to get scores and keep up with my squad. But always a big part.
Yeah, I have to thank God for baseball and being a fan of baseball because it's my favorite sport next to rugby. It. Rugby is a close second.
Okay.
Because I used to play rugby a long time ago.
Nice.
But I thank God for baseball while I was deployed because it was something that really brought our shop together. And this was I was deployed right after 9/11. So, we needed something to kind of solidify us. And then sports. I mean, we would always sit down and watch Sports Center. And then when the Super Bowl happened, we all stopped. It was like everyone stopped. That was our beer day. You understand beer day.
Oh yeah, I've had a couple of those.
I had several. I had 2 of those on that deployment. So tell you how long I was out to sea. That was not fun. However, that Super Bowl, we had beer, and I can't tell you how awesome it was to be in the hangar bay and watching the Super Bowl. I don't even remember who was playing. I just remember watching football with all of my shipmates, and it was just like one of those solidifying moments. Like, this is America. This is what we're fighting for,
And that World Series with the Yankees and the Diamondbacks.
Yes.
And everybody's rooting for the Yankees to win because of New York, and they didn't. But that whole time with 9/11 and baseball coming back and saying, we're Americans, we're going to, not let this disrupt us. And people started going back to normal. And when baseball was back, the World Series went into November. It was a beautiful time in this country where we weren't worried about affiliation with politics and those kinds of beliefs. We just were one nation, united, having a good time, happy, and baseball helped bring a lot of that unity back to this country. And that's why that World Series, I loved watching it. I mean, of course, my Dodgers weren't that good at that year, but it was nice to see it and the country enjoy baseball. Even though, like, the fickle fans, not even the hardcore baseball fans, everybody was into it.
Oh, and
it was amazing. And that's where I love that baseball and sports in general can always unify people in crisis time. It's always a beautiful thing to see all the time.
Definitely. Well, I grew, being a Giants fan, I grew up with the '89 earthquake and stopping baseball. It was like the first time in years that a natural disaster or a disaster had stopped baseball. And I was gearing up, I was watching the pregame show and gearing up for the World Series. And it was amazing to see the Battle of the Bay. Honestly, I feel, and a lot of Giants fans do, but we would have won had that not happened, because the A's were actually able to change their lineup.
Yeah.
And I think if they had kept the lineup and, everything had remained the same, I think the Giants would have taken that series. But I definitely gave the A's a little bit of an advantage, playing the rest of the series at the Oakland Coliseum, which is O.com, I think. I don't know. Bay Area changes their stadium names and their ballpark names.
I lost track of the Giants stadium name now. It used to be Pac Bell Park when we used to go there. I don't even know what it is anymore.
So I think it was Pac Bell, 3Com, AT&T, and now it's Oracle.
That's right. Yeah. They change it all the time.
4 names. 4 names.
Money talks.
You know what? Honestly, I miss Candlestick. And that's honestly why I like Chavez Ravine, because it reminded me of what I felt like when I went into Candlestick.
That place used to be so damn cold. I've seen a lot of baseball and football games there. My mom's a 49er fan. So we would make the trek up to Candlestick Park a lot. And we used to travel to watch Dodger games too. And even in the middle of July, you need a parka just to sit out in the outfield because it's so damn cold there at Hunters Point. Like, damn, it's cold out here.
Yes,
it's summer. Back home, it's 100 degrees, and here it's 62.
Exactly.
The sun's setting and it's cold.
Exactly. And it was freezing. It was probably one of the worst built parks, but it's just nostalgia for me.
Absolutely, of course. And I mean, that's like the charm of Dodger Stadium. No corporate name on it. Generations have gone there to watch games. It's so clean there, you could eat off the floor, literally. And as an employee of the team and as a fan, walking into that ballpark every single day, it's just something about it that's so magical. And it'd be like old Yankee Stadium, or Wrigley Field or Fenway, all these amazing ballparks that stood the test of time. Dodger Stadium has that same charm. It's just a beautiful place to watch a ballpark or ball game.
So, wrapping it up, in your opinion, what are you looking most forward to in this next season?
I just want the Dodgers to re-sign the people that need to re-sign, get all of our free agents in order, and run it back. Because this team could have easily, if we didn't have the injuries that we sustained during the playoffs, we could have won. I don't want to sound like a bitter fan. We could have this, but it's facts. They had key injuries and still won 106 games. And that's how tough the NL West was. You win 106 games and you still don't win a division. I mean, it's that crazy. But this team is built for greatness. They still have their core. And if we get the right pitching, get the key guys to re-sign that we need to re-sign, they really need to make sure Chris Taylor comes back to this team, because that guy he's a catalyst. He's a damn good ball player.
Agreed.
All the free agents that's going on right now, you got to re-sign that guy. I hope Scherzer comes back, but I don't think he wants to. But if we can just make that happen, stay healthy during next season, the Dodgers will be a force to be reckoned with and could return back to the World Series again. I really think they could.
Oh, I agree with you wholeheartedly. CT3 needs to come back.
Yeah.
I'm so sad that he declined the qualifying offer, but I totally understand why. He probably wants a longer term.
Oh yeah, of
Uh,
course.
totally understandable. However, it's this cat and mouse game that drives me nuts in the off season.
Uh,
It just
yeah, yeah. That
make
like
up your mind.
yeah, the front office wants you to take a hometown discount, and the players like, well, I want long term, security.
Yeah.
So you got to just find a happy medium and hope that everything works out. So we can be a big happy family still and continue to, run off these World Series appearances.
Yeah. And do you agree with Robert staying on as manager?
I do, and he gets a bad rap. I think he overmanages a lot, but a lot of that's coming from the front office. I feel
Yeah.
the art of managing from the gut is lost because everything's about analytics now. But
Yeah.
You don't get rid of a manager that's been to the World Series 4 times, 3 times.
Mhm.
No, you don't do that. And everyone gets so mad at how he manages, but I say keep the guy as long as you can. He knows what he's doing because he keeps winning.
Yeah.
So don't get rid of him. And he used to be a Dodger when I worked for the team. I was in the clubhouse when it got traded to Boston. I was there as it happened, and he was crying. And I was like, Dave, go get a World Series in Boston. They won that year, so I take credit for that too.
Awesome. Well, you know what? You have to,
I'm just saying because I told him to do it. He stole the base that he ended up being the game-winning run that was knocked in. So, he doesn't have to buy another beer in Boston as long as he lives. So
yeah. Well, there are those pluses. Excuse me, those pluses. Unfortunately, see, like Panda Sandoval.
Yeah.
When he went to Boston, San Francisco was furious with him. Furious.
Oh yeah.
And when he came back, I'm just like, how can you bring this guy back? He totally turned his back on the city. No.
He turned his back on the city. He didn't make an effort to be in shape. Nope. It was wasted talent because that guy was a talented ball player and just didn't give a damn. And he really took a crap on the city of San Francisco.
Oh, he did. I remember that catch that he made, and it was like he tumbled over something and still caught the ball.
Yeah.
And I'm going, why are you leaving? Why are you leaving San Francisco? And I have a story about him. A friend of mine, a family friend of mine, she used to live in the lives in the Millennium Towers where Sandoval lived.
Right.
San Francisco. And one of the doormen said, "Oh, Pablo, why are you leaving? Why are you leaving? You can't leave us." He's like, "I'm Pablo. I do what I want."
Ooh.
Yeah.
No. See, that's not cool, man. When you're speaking in third person, that's already a turn on.
Yeah, it's like,
so I mean, damn.
And I'm sorry, you're not going to be the next Big Papi. It's just not going to happen.
No. He doesn't have the charm. He doesn't have the game. He doesn't have the desire that Big Papi had when he was playing ball. That guy. Wow, what a waste of talent, man.
Yeah, and he also doesn't have really the personality. He's such a jerk.
Yeah,
I would, like you did to Bonds, I did to him at the A Stadium, and I would be right behind home plate on the third level, and I'd be like, "You suck, you traitor!" Yeah, and I guess it was so loud, he actually turned around and was like, "He turned around! Oh my god!" I'm like, "Yeah, I am turning around. I'll meet you in the parking lot."
I will say this about Bonds. I have a real cool story. I know you got to wrap it up, but we had a rare off day. We flew into Denver, and the Giants were finishing up their series against the Rockies. And we all stayed at the same hotel. And Odalis Perez was a pitcher for the Dodgers at the time. He was friends with Pedro Feliz, I think his name was. And Feliz brought down Barry Bonds. We're all sitting at the bar. And I was telling Barry Bonds, "Hey, man, you used to never give me interviews when I was a producer at Fox Sports Radio." And he's like, "Yeah, I don't do radio, man. I'm sorry." So as we're sitting at the bar, and I'm already like, "Man, I want to sit next to this guy. I hate this guy." There's a wedding going on at the reception hall of the hotel. And the wedding photographer comes up to us, starts taking pictures of Barry Bonds. I pushed the guy out the way to get the hell out of here, leave Barry alone. Barry turns to me and he goes, You work for the Dodgers? Yeah, radio for the radio broadcast team. He's like, thanks for doing that, man. Hey, whatever this guy wants all night long. And he's like, put on my tab, whatever you want to drink all night long, I got you. So we're like sitting there drinking fine cognac with Barry Bonds, and we're like chatting it up like old friends. He's like, I can't believe you did that for me, man. That was really nice of you. I was like, well, I'd rather be me than you because nobody knows who I am. It's cool. And so, yeah, that was a cool night. And we ended up like hanging out at ESPN Zone downstairs, and we had a good time. It was fun.
Wow. Okay, well, that just like totally turned my opinion about Barry Bonds because
he's misunderstood. I believe that. I believe that.
Oh, no, I totally believe that. I believe that about most ball players,
Yeah. Even Milton Bradley, like when he was a Dodger, he did a lot of dumb things, but I got to know the guy traveling with him and everything. And he's not a saint, but he's not as bad as people made him out to be too. There's a lot of players like that.
Yeah. My husband has a Steve Garvey story, which we'll touch on another time.
Sure.
Maybe I'll bring him in to the interview or to the to the chat, and he can tell you about his Steve Garvey story because it's a doozy. Let's just say that.
I'm sure there's a lot of those. I've heard a few. I've seen a few things with legends with the Dodgers myself.
Yeah. I get it. Well, Big Brother Jake, thank you so much for this interview. It has been so much fun.
Yeah, thank you for having me on the show. Appreciate that. Anytime.
Awesome. And likewise, anytime you want to bring me on your show, by all means.
That's happening. Make plans. Make plans.
I will make plans. And I definitely want to bring you into a clubhouse with Bill and the other guys, because I think you would totally just wipe the floor with them. Some of them are Angels fans, and two are Braves fans. And one's a White Sox fan. I don't know where that came from. It's totally random. But yeah, this has been so much fun. Thank you very much. And Top fans, we will see you next time. You all have a great day.